Hey friends, Ryan Frank, welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. So glad that you are here. Welcome. It is Friday. Way to go. You have made it to Friday. If you've not been on kidsmatter.com this week, you really need to go to kidsmatter.com. Look right up here at the top of the screen. You're going to see our popular downloads of the week. Fall Frenzy, Reverse Stand Up, Sit Down Crowd Breaker Game, the Pumpkin Shuffle, Pumpkin Peekaboo, Fall Search, Zoomed In Thanksgiving Edition. That's a fun one. Thanksgiving True or False, Cool Cats and Karaoke 3-pack for Christmas has made the list. All right. Also, I want you to notice that we've got something that we're doing right now. Ryan's 5 things. 5 Christmas must-haves. These are some products that I have seen in the Kids Matters I Love Kid Men Facebook group over the last week or two. I want to put them together in one list. If you get my emails, you got an email about these this morning. You can get a free Christmas bundle from Orange, which is really great. Totally free if you miss that. Free. Got videos and all kinds of fun stuff that families can use together. Dough Holy Night is a new resource from Go Curriculum. Families get around the kitchen. They get all their ingredients. They follow a video on the computer screen or iPad or TV if you want to AirPlay it. And the kids make Christmas cookies and learn a very valuable lesson about Christmas. Yancey's Little Drummer Boy, Kids Worship Collection. You can get this for 50% off. If you're looking for some kids' Christmas videos to do in your Kid Men, check out Yancey's Kids Worship Collection. There's a link. All right, then we've got some resources I want to mention from Hillsong Kids. You can get 3 Christmas lessons and 3 Easter lessons at a discounted price. The link is all right there. Cokesbury has a nice little kids Christmas book. You can get 10 of them for $20. They're great Christmas gifts for your family, for your kids. Check all of these out. These are some of my favorite things. Ryan, how do I get to these? Remember, you get to these over on the homepage at kidsmatter.com. You can check out some recent podcasts from our podcast network. Subscribe to Kids Matter magazine. It's all right there at kidsmatter.com. Joined by Jim Wideman. Jim, you were wearing a black shirt yesterday.
I wear a black shirt every day, and but it is clean.
Hold on, I know why. You told me last time. It's one less decision you have to make every day.
It's one less decision I have to make every day.
Oh my God!
I have to figure out which black shirt, but it sure helps me.
It sure helps. Well, Jim just came off a meeting with your pastor.
Yeah, man,
he's not letting you go.
No, he's actually getting me to work a little harder. So it's that time of year where we're looking at insurance benefits and what we're going to do for our staff. And yesterday was a big day of budgets and looking forward and what did Corona do and all that kind of stuff. And so we're just making those decisions, man. What an honor.
Nice.
You know, I've dreamed my whole life of having the problems that I have. They're a wonderful, wonderful blessing to be able to have this set of challenges to work on. And I'm thankful for every situation I get to work on.
Jim, you know what? Every time I talk to you, you throw out a one-liner like that. That's gold. I've always dreamed. Most people, you think of problems and you think, man, I don't want to dream up any problems. You've always dreamed of having the problems that you're having. Because why? What are you learning?
Well,
tell us why.
Well, the main thing is you're paid by how much stress you're under. The reason a janitor doesn't make what a brain surgeon does is because you can't really hurt people that bad with spray, disinfectant, and you one wrong move and somebody comes out crippled or can't talk. And so I want to be a person who is always a part of the solution and not a person who's just causing problems.
Man, that's good. And don't you think, Jim, I teach this, and I know you think it. I don't know why I'm asking you if you agree with me, because I know you're going to agree with me. I think one of the greatest assets you bring to your pastor is not your ability to notice things that need fixed, but your ability to bring solutions to the table. And it may not be a solution your pastor wants, but the mere fact that you're bringing solutions to the table, you're now all of a sudden, that's one way to get closer to the inside, isn't it? Bring solutions to the table.
You bring solutions. Never present a problem. Listen, nothing's really changed from high school. We always like multiple choice better than essay questions.
Yep.
And so for a busy leader, you always bring them multiple choices. Because, high D, fires, whatever personality test you use, they like to make choices. Give them choices. They also like employees that don't make them do all the thinking.
That's right.
Think for them and bring some options. And, again, sometimes the option is to go ahead and pay it. Other times, because of cash flow, payments are an option. But, you don't assume just because this was the answer once that it'll always be the best way to solve that.
That's exactly right. It's Jim Wideman, ladies and gentlemen. Jim and
next time, kids, we need to do a teaching on problem solving.
Come on, we really do. We do on Monday.
Yeah, well, I'm making up for 3 days with Ryan Frank.
Yes, you are, aren't you? Jim and I were able to hang out this week in Nashville, one of my favorite cities in America. I saw Jim took me around his church. He took me the belonging. You call it the Belonging Company or the Belonging Co?
Yeah, both. It's Belonging Co, TB Co. It's the Belonging Company, and we get that like a company of an army or company of soldiers. Right? Our official 501(c) government name is the Belonging Church. Inc. Doing business as Belonging Company. But
one thing. When Jim was showing me his church, and he showed me about every spot there was to see. Well, it's beautiful facility. I love the design and the aesthetics and everything. One thing that impressed me was that this church did not spend a lot of money on their chairs in the auditorium or their furniture in the lobby or their bathrooms, although it's all nice.
Yeah.
Really, where a lot of money was spent is in part of the church that nobody ever sees. Backstage. Talk to us about that, Jim, and why.
Well, here's the deal. If you like it or not, this reaching people remotely is not going away. Mm-hmm. And you have got to invest in technology to reach the unchurched. And for years, we just said, well, we want them to come to our church, and if we don't, God bless them. We hope somebody does. We're really making an effort to go into all the world, and that includes people's living rooms. And so that whole remotely, we said yesterday, talked a little bit, I did my first baby dedication that was live in the room, but we also dedicated babies remotely.
Yeah.
People came in on the screen and
I think that's the first I've ever heard of a church doing that. I'm sure churches have done it, but first I've heard about it, a remote virtual baby dedication.
Yeah, and we're doing that with new believers classes. We're doing that with new members classes. We're doing that with church, and we just realized that there's a group of people when we came back and in service that we'd never seen before. They just joined in online and became in-person parts. And so why can't you repeat that all over the place? Exactly. And reach them online, and then some may never come. If you live in Los Angeles, it's a tough drive to Nash Vegas. But at the same time, it's unreal how people, we meet them every week in our new people's lounge that came to town because they just wanted to experience live what they have experienced online.
Exactly. That's pretty cool. Jim, we're going to talk today about, we've already been talking now for 10 minutes and it's all been good. But we agreed to talk about the importance of saying no. I think
I figured, excuse me, Ron. I figured we would have some people that wanted our notes, and so they can text 66866 and put in the word "kid man," and that will get you the notes for today. So we don't have to mention everything on the notes. We can just kind of call your attention to it. And I threw in a few free ebook just for people. And it's the Eric Trap, one of my favorites. 5 things every leader has to get right. And so there's a free book and there's the notes that we can look at.
I love it. Jim, so we'll repeat that number in
it's 66866. Thank God for that 8 for all you religious people.
Oh my word.
But 66866.
And we'll put that in the podcast in Kidman. We'll put that in the podcast show notes as well for those of you that are listening to this later. Jim, I've always told people that the 2 most powerful words in the English language are yes and no. Agree or disagree?
I agree. And you have to say yes to no to be able to say no. And, it's so funny. We always look at Jesus as our example. And in the notes, I gave you 8 different, I did a study of how many times Jesus said no in scripture. And I found 8 different times for all you numerology buffs like me. 8's new beginning. And so if you want a new beginning, learn to say no. It'll move you to the best yes. But it's amazing the things that Jesus said no to. He said no to the devil. He said no to religious people and doctrines and traditions. Mm-hmm. He said no to family. Now that's an interesting thing. He said no to somebody that was trying to call him into something that he didn't need to be involved in. He said no to miracles because of lack of faith. He said no to his disciples who were trying to get him to send people away. He said, no, this is something you need to take care of. Mm-hmm. And again, he said no to a Syrophoenician woman because she didn't have a covenant. He ended up saying yes because of her response. But again, he said no to ministry, Matthew 8:18. And so look at that on the notes. And, I also listed a series of questions to ask yourself before you say no. One of those things is, am I already working on several important assignments that leave me no time for this one? Mm-hmm. Can I delegate some of my other work to make room for this assignment? Can I put some of my other assignments on the back burner while I work on this one? The pause button, we hit it all the time on the remote, but sometimes we have to do it on our to-do list and jump to something else. Taking this assignment cause harm to my other work. See, these are the things that managers need to know, and stuff that your middle manager don't know. And I think there's a fear in being able to talk to your boss about these kind of things. But I mean, we all know one of the 10 commandments is do not lie. And if somebody says, hey, can you work on this? And it's putting some things in jeopardy, you need to have a little talk. And so we go over some of those things on the notes. Am I the only person who can successfully complete this task? And so also listed bad reasons to say no.
Tell us about a few of those. What would be a couple?
It's just 3. Okay. The project looks too difficult. Don't be scared of hard work. And everything's hard. Every choice you make is hard.
Yep.
And so it's one of those things. My favorite thing to make sure you never say, this isn't a part of my job description.
Oh man. Yep.
And then I added an actual quote from an ex-employee, and I use the word ex-employee. Actual quote: "I'm in the middle of planning my wedding, and I can't focus on anything right now."
Yeah. Okay, so those are some bad reasons to say no, Jim.
Yeah.
You got some good reasons to say no?
I got four. I got more reasons to say no than not to.
All right.
There simply is enough hours in the days to work on it, even if I get to work early and stay late.
Yeah, that's good.
Number two, I'm already booked. How many times have I told you no on dates? I mean, our friendship is one that Ryan can call me last minute and say, "Hey, this opportunity came up. I got to move. Somebody else is hosting." And I'd rather talk with Ryan than somebody else that's hosting. So, we say no to each other. And I literally tell him for the rest of the year, here's the 3 dates I have open.
Yeah, you do.
And if you're booked, just be booked. And it's crazy. My other work will suffer if I take this assignment. And here's the biggie: I don't have the necessary skills to complete this project, and I'll not be able to attain them in time. See, that answer is not I'll never do it. It's just, it's so time consuming. I can't get the skills I need. So those are good reasons to say no. And, I have a lot of experience. But there's still a lot of stuff that's over I mean, let's be honest. I'm 65 years old. I do not know how to make an Excel spreadsheet. That's just one of the things that I've always had somebody in the organization I could have make me one.
Yep.
And I'm not at this age. I don't think I'm going to learn that. I just, that's one of those things I don't think I need to add to my utility belt just to say I got one. I got it.
Yep.
And so, there's certain things that you have to say no to.
Jim, what would you say? Let me bounce in. Some people, and I'm empathetic to people like this, that just have a hard time saying no. They just want to please people, or they, in their heart, may not even be they want to please people, but in their heart, they really do want to say yes. I mean, look at someone that just, I can't say no.
Yeah. Well, what I had to realize is that if I wanted to play at the level I wanted to play at, and I wanted to be a leader of leaders and wanted to be a help to my pastor, I was just going to have to suck up my own comfort level and just learn to say no. Listen, somebody calls me and says, nobody else will do this. I'm a sucker to say, I'll jump in and try.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know me, I'm visionary. I love to create stuff that doesn't exist. And I love a good challenge. And so, you have to, you have to learn how to say no. And I put in the notes 3 things, but it mainly all involving someone else, showing them the facts, and let them either prioritize your work that they didn't know that you had before all this, or if this is the new priority, then they put that before, and you're not trying to manage everything yourself. You're getting those people. My favorite part of this is no nose and no veil. And I want to share a few of these while we, how much time do we have?
Let's wrap it up in 5 minutes.
Okay. Never skip off days on an ongoing basis to stay caught up. That's a warning sign. If you can't take a day off, then you're not being godly because he took a day off.
Yeah.
Never neglect your family to keep up with your responsibilities. If you're doing that, you need to learn to say no. Never threaten. This is one of those, when I point to you, there's 3 more fingers looking back at me. Never threaten to quit or resign during conflicts or general questions. I was bad about that when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be prideful. Don't be defensive. Again, there's a term I like to throw out at my church, and it's funny how it's called on, but it's called umbrella of mercy. And when I say umbrella of mercy, just don't get you feathers ruffled. We're just going to lay it out here, and we're just trying to find a solution. Don't blame or attack others for why you can't do something. And the last one is don't take on more than you can physically handle. And that's one I've had to learn with. And so in those notes, there's 10 things that I give you to say yes to about no. And that's worth the trouble to download stuff. And so, and you get a free book.
That's right. That's right. I think one of the best decisions that a leader can make, and Jim, you're good at this, is you've got to delegate everything that you can, say no to everything you can say no to, so that you can really focus on the things that at the end of the day, only you can do, that God's created you to do. Like you said a minute ago, that are going to increase your capacity and your value to the organization or your pastor or your church. It's Jim Wideman. Jim, would you share for those on Facebook that are just jumping on? Jim is sharing his notes and a free ebook, but you need to text for it. What's that number, Jim? 66866.
Thank God for that 8.
Oh man,
and then put in the word kid man. Your phone will try to change it to kid man, but just slap your phone and say no to your phone.
What? I don't know why my phone won't learn that. I mean, I type kidman 200 times a day and it still changes it to kid man.
Oh yeah. Well, you just have to say no. Just say no, phone.
No. When you text Jim, he'll also give you his prediction on who is going to be named the president of the United States. It'll be in that.
Oh, there you go. It will not.
It will not. That's a no. Okay.
No, it's a no. No, Ryan. But I will give you a free book.
But a free Air Trap, which is a great book. And if you mentioned this yesterday, if you have not read any of Jim Wideman's books, one of the best decisions you can make today is go to jimwideman.com and drop one of each of his books in the shopping cart. It'll give you some good reading content for the winter and going into next year. It'll be stuff that you read, you have a hard time putting it down, and you want to share it with your team. jimwideman.com. Jim, thanks so much for taking time to chat with us today.
And I'm at Jim Wideman on the Twitters and Instagram, and
you can find him.
I have 2 favorites.
Find him on TikTok. Anywhere.
No, I'm not on TikTok.
Oh, you're not?
I am fast. No, but I am fast. I will share recipes with you on Pinterest.
Will you really?
Oh yeah, I have my own cooking thing. I didn't know but here. Oh, you know me. I not only eat it, but I dish it out. But I love. I'm in love with a 9-year-old bass player right now called Aaron the Bassist, and so you can follow him on Instagram. It's an amazing kid with amazing skills, and he is a funk meister. And if you like bass face, follow that kid.
Speaking of following, I remember it's probably been 15 years ago. My phone rang, and it was probably a BlackBerry back then. I don't know what it was, but I remember it said Jim Wideman, and I answered my phone, and Jim said, "Ryan," he said, "I just started doing something last week, and you need to do this." I said, "What was it?" He said, "I got on Twitter." And I said, "Jim, what are you doing on Twitter?" And remember what you told me, Jim? He said, that I'm following a bunch of young guys, and I'm learning from them. You remember telling me that?
Yeah.
I bet that's been 15 years ago.
It's probably been more than that.
It might have been. Yeah, because Twitter was kind of new. Maybe it was, I don't know when it was, but So you know what I did? I did what Jim said. I got on Twitter. I looked at who's Jim Wideman following, and I followed those same people, and I learned from them. Always be learning.
the Grams, baby. That's where it's at for me. And I can tour everybody's church. I can see what's going on.
That's it.
I know we have a post at our church called TBCO Kids. And if you want to see what God's doing around our altars, you want to see what God's doing in worship, you want to see what God is doing in our children's ministry, get on the Grams and at
I see some pictures of that grandson of yours with those hands raised.
Buddy, they're both there and they love, one lifts his hands and the other one gets on his face. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't trade anything for worship.
Got to do your heart good. Yep.
Yeah.
It's Jim Wideman, JimWideman.com. Yeah, that's it. JimWideman.com. Thanks for joining me on today's Coffee Chat, Jim. Thank you, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, podcast. Keep up the great work. We'll be back on Monday.